We're back, live in studio with Samuel Azurzer in the business headquarters of Radio Shalom, 1650 AM in Montreal, with the Money and Business Show. You have questions about your personal finances? You need advice in making sound financial decisions? Samuel and his guests are ready to take your call at 514-738-4100, extension 200. And now, back to the Money and Business Show.
We're back with Sinem Tezyapar, live from Istanbul, Turkey. She's a religious commentator, peace activist, and executive producer at a Turkish TV network. Today, our topic will be Turkey, a model of democracy and Islam, and the roadmap to a culture of peace in the Middle East. How are you, Sinem? And thank you for joining us for the next half hour of our show.
Shalom, Sam. I'm very good. Thank you. It's a pleasure to talk to you in Radio Shalom in Montreal.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'd love to have you back. You know, you're definitely going to be our commentator. You know, that if anything happening in Turkey, we'll give you a call and you'll let us know what happens. Is that a deal?
Yes. You're always welcome. It will be a pleasure for me too.
Fantastic. Good. Now let's talk to a region that we all know about. Israel's export to Turkey and high-tech manufacturing machinery and parts, water irrigation systems, plastic and chemicals. Turkey and Israel signed a free trade agreement in the year 2000. The annual exports to Israel were about 650 million. Israel's export to Turkey reached about 475 million in the first quarter of 2013, and it seems like it's increasing. The trade amount about 4 billion last year. Are we looking at an increase this year in GDP?
Hopefully so. The economic relations between Turkey and Israel has been flourishing despite the political tension, and it keeps getting bigger. The mutual trade volume was over 4 billion in 2012, and the figure is expected to reach 5 billion in 2013. With that number, we are talking about 25% increase.
There's been an increase of 25% between trade between Turkey and Israel from last year?
Yes, indeed.
With all that's been happening with the political instability and so on, a 25% increase. Wow.
Yes, correct. Actually, Israel's commercial relationship with Turkey has never been better. Maybe just to give some insight about the development of our economic relations.
Yes, go ahead.
In 1996, Israel has signed a free trade agreement with Turkey.
Mm-hmm.
This was indeed a historic agreement because it was Israel's first such agreement with a Muslim country. By 2000, all customs duties concerning the industrial products have been abolished.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, there has been a steady progression in trade and investment. And Turkey, as the 16th largest economy in the world, with a 1 trillion GDP and with a population of 76 million, Turkey is indeed a key market for Israel. And at the moment, Turkey is the 6th largest export destination for Israel.
The 6th? Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
And for me, this is also an indication that Turks and Israeli people have never accepted the political tension, because Israeli people know very well that there is no ground for hostile feelings in reality.
That's right, because what would happen if Israel and Turkey, there's hostilities, mutually they can benefit each other. The exports, as you mentioned, a 25% increase from last year. It means since the flotilla, what happened with that political news there at that time, where Israel had to actually apologize for that, it has increased. So they understand each other, that it's extremely, extremely important. Also, I'm going to give you a quote from Stanley Fischer, the governor of the Bank of Israel, or the ex-governor now, or he's going to move on. He says he does not underestimate the economic importance of Turkey to Israel. Shortly after Turkey expelled Israel's ambassador, he said, in terms of the sophisticated economies in the region, which is where we export the most successfully, Turkey is the most important. So he knows the importance of Turkey. But also, I think your Prime Minister has been here in the White House, and I have a clip of that. The Turkish Prime Minister was in the White House in the Rose Garden with the President of the United States. I think it was last month. So we're just going to hear a clip. Go ahead.
Okay.
This visit reflects the importance that the United States places on our relationship with our ally Turkey, and I value so much the partnership that I've been able to develop with Prime Minister Erdogan. Today we discussed the many areas in which our countries cooperate, including Afghanistan, where our troops serve bravely together, the G20, where we promote our shared prosperity, and Iran, where we agree it is critical that we do not see that country acquire a nuclear weapon and potentially trigger an arms race throughout the region. Given our shared interest in peace, I want to note the Prime Minister's efforts to normalize relations with Israel. This will benefit both the Turkish and Israeli people and can also help us make progress on a two-state solution, including an independent Palestinian state. Today we focused on three areas that I want to highlight. First, we agreed to keep expanding trade and investment. Over the past 4 years, our trade has surged and U.S. exports to Turkey have more than doubled. As the United States pursues a new trade and investment partnership with the EU, I want to make sure that we also keep deepening our economic ties with Turkey. So we're creating a new high-level committee that will focus on increasing trade and investment between our two countries and will help fuel Turkish innovation.
Sinev, we just heard the President of the United States highly speak of Turkey. And how is the Islamist model different in Turkey as compared to Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Syria, or Iran?
I think the most important difference is that there is no compulsion, no coercion, suppression, or else in the name of religion in Turkey. Modern understanding, contemporary interpretation of Islam is dominant in our country. And another important point that I have to mention is that radicalism, terrorism in the name of Islam cannot find any ground in Turkey. The radical views are very, very small in numbers. So these are very important, yes.
Because it's a secular view in some ways, right? That's why. It's not like Islamist.
Yes, secular, democratic country, but also the people are open-minded and they are educated in that direction, not in the direction of radicalism.
And also they're business-like too. They want business. They know that if something happens to Turkey, you know, their economy is going to hurt at the end of the day.
Yes, but the concern is not about business. The general atmosphere in Turkey is very modern and open-minded. To give a few examples in terms of practice, when compared to Saudi Arabia, for instance, there are no synagogues or churches. Torah and gospel is prohibited. Jews and Christians can't make a religious ceremony in Saudi Arabia. And this is completely different in Turkey. The Christians, Jews have full right to express their belief. They can worship as they wish. They can carry their religious symbols. They can pray in their synagogues or churches without feeling any pressure or discrimination, which I find very important.
Excellent. Good.
Yes, and as you know, another difference is an Israeli citizen cannot travel to Iran or Saudi Arabia, but Israelis are always welcome to Turkey. They can travel freely without being asked for a visa. Planes between Turkey and Israel are flying with full capacity 4 times a day.
Yeah, I know. I see the Turkish Airlines back and forth. Like when I was in Israel, I saw many of the airlines, and I said, Turkey, wow, that was new to me to see that. But yes, you're right.
Yes, indeed. And in countries like Saudi Arabia or others, women are forced to dress in a specific way. But in Turkey, you can see all kinds of women sitting together with equal rights without being discriminated. A headscarf woman, a woman with headscarf or a woman with revealing clothes, they can both get along very well. And we can give many examples, but but I think you get the general atmosphere here.
I do get it. Sineb, the Arab world is awakening, especially Tunisia, Egypt, Libya, and Syria, countries trying to change their destiny. Turkey has been shown as a model instead of those authoritarian governments and corrupt systems. According to two surveys conducted by the Turkish Economic and Social Studies Foundation and KE Research Limited in 7 Arabic countries, 61% of the survey respondents and 66% of the survey respondents think that Turkey can be a role model for the other Muslim countries in the Middle East. Sineb, can Turkey be a role model for the other Islamic Muslim majority countries?
I fully think, I would say a full yes for this. And for the percentage, I think it keeps rising. Day by day, the sympathy for Turkey is growing. Their expectations, their hopes to see Turkey as a leader is also growing. First of all, Turkey has destroyed the preconception that democracy and Islam is incompatible. The nature of Turkey's regime is secular, pluralist, and democratic, as we have been talking. But what happened in the last decade is we saw a new party which comes from an Islamic tradition to lead Turkey, the secular country, and with this situation, I think Turkey provides the best answer to the biggest question in the Islamic world: can Islam and democracy go together, as it does in the West?
So you say yes. Yes. So the answer is yes.
Yes.
And we're seeing as a democracy, as the secularism is flourishing in Turkey, but also at the same time the economy of Turkey is flourishing. So it all works.
Yes, indeed.
When you start throwing out terrorism out in the world and talking, you want a war and you want to, obliterate Israel as a country, like coming from Iran, and not having people, flying to Saudi Arabia, all that adds up to the tensions, and the economies don't really work that well. But proof.
You're fully right. Yes. Actually, Turkey has lowered their military expenses a lot in the past decade. So it showed they spent all those money to industry, to education, to social security, and so on.
And education.
Yes, indeed. And I just want to add something.
Yes,
because
go ahead.
It is important.
Go ahead.
People were curious about what is happening to Turkey. Is Turkey's axis is shifting to east and so on. Turkey is still a NATO ally and a loyal friend to West. This has not changed, and it will not change. But Turkey also realized her responsibilities as a natural leader in the Turkic Islamic world. So Turkey, as a soft power, like an elder brother, at the moment can indeed be a balance, a unifying entity against radicalism and terrorism, not just for itself, but for the whole region. So Turkey's new foreign policy is in the direction to be a bridge between East and West, and to serve a model to inspire the Muslim majority Arab countries for a new vision, which is a model where Muslims live with democracy and with enjoying their fundamental freedoms and human rights.
And you know what, Sinem, on that note, we're just going to take a station break. We have Sinem Tezyapar live from Istanbul, Turkey. She's a political and religious commentator, peace activist, very important, and an executive producer at a Turkish TV network. Our topic today is Turkey, a model of democracy and Islam, and the roadmap to culture of peace in the Middle East. My name is Samuel Izerzer for the Money and Biz Show on Radio Shalom, CJRS 1650 AM in Montreal. We'll be right back.